If you're toxic and you know it, clap your hands. If you're toxic and you know it, clap your hands. If you're toxic and you know it, and your life was surely short. If you're toxic and you know it, clap your hands. If I was in a room singing that song and I had multiple people around, a lot of the toxic people, they probably wouldn't even clap their hands. Because one of the traits about toxic people is denial. A lot of toxic people would point out other toxic people, or at least people who they perceive to be toxic, but they won't admit it to themselves. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can get notifications. This is good material here. The difference between toxic people and negative people, sometimes it's a little hard to tell the difference. Negative people are set on being negative. They see the glass, of course, as being half empty. Out of all the good things that may be around negative people, they may find that one thing that just disagrees with them. Beautiful weather, the sun is shining, and they may start complaining about the fact that it rained yesterday. It's negative people. But that's not what we're talking about today. Toxic people have some negative traits. At least they show up as negative. But there is a difference. Now, which one is worse? It really depends on who's looking and who's judging. If you want my opinion, I'm not going to give it to you. See, toxic people, they have basically had some dramatic experiences, particularly in their past, whether it was a couple hours ago in the past or whether it was years ago in the past. But they have basically been affected by some negative, dramatic experience that they have taken and run with it. And they have taken it from relationship to relationship to relationship. A lot of times what happens is that we put on lenses and we begin to see from those lenses, although the lenses were shaped by a bad experience. Maybe someone cheating on you, someone been lying to you for years, someone who let you down, someone who you trusted and they even stole from you. And we take that because it's natural. It's normal. If someone approaches you in the dark with a hoodie on, it's not that you're being stereotypical. It's just that you know that to possibly mean that person may be coming to do me some harm. So you deal with it as you think is best. Whether you fight, whether you flight, whether you hurry up and start your car off and pull up, whether you walk in a different direction, whether you get on your phone and call for help, whatever the case may be. It's the way that we learn to protect ourselves. So we become more cautious when we have bad experiences of anything that may simulate that particular experience. So toxic people really just are looking out a certain set of lens. What's toxic? Toxic is basically when you're in a relationship and, for example, you and your guy are on your way to dinner and movies, some type of event where a lot of people are going to be there and you're excited about it and you're glad that you're going, but you do got your toxic lens on. So you're trying to figure out like what this person really up to and what's going to go wrong. And all of a sudden the tire is flat. And he has on his best, just like you have on your best, and really don't want to be out there changing tires. So we're waiting for AAA. AAA taking a couple hours. You all are going to miss this event. You can't really control it. The other option, of course, is him to get out there and maybe try to not get dirty or whatever. But man got his white on, he got his, he got his slides on, dress shoes and everything. So may not want to do it that route. And even doing it that route, because of the time, God forbid he can't get one of the lugs off. But the point is that the toxic person will assume that, see, this is what you wanted anyway. See, you probably meant to run over that nail or hit that curb or get that glass in the tire. Because I know such what's the name was going to be over there, might have been his ex or something. And you probably didn't want her to see us together. And the person that the toxic person is inflicting all this on, though verbal or not, is like, what the? And say this person responds by saying, look, let me tell you something, and a whole lot of other words come out that maybe shouldn't have been said. Now you have confirmed to the toxic person that is the kind of person that you are. Yeah. Oh, that's how you gonna talk to me? Or you gonna call me that? But you just provoked the person. So now it's confirmed. And that's what all your past relationships has been. You looking through your toxic lens saying, that dude back there cheated on me. That dude back there who I trusted, he did something as bad as maybe even sleeping with one of my supposedly friends. And I know that all men is not nothing. So I'm going to go into each relationship after that, hoping that I can trust them. But I know that they ain't nothing. Because this guy done it to me and maybe a couple other guys. And so then what can happen, I'm not saying that it always does, but just for the sake of understanding toxicity and where it comes from. And then what happens is that, what could happen is that you push this man back so far. You create the gap, and now he has found himself in another woman's bed or in another woman's presence. And then it comes to the light. And there's your confirmation, you toxic person. There's your I told you so. But you don't realize that what you've done is what in psychology they will call the self-fulfilling prophecy. You created it. That's not to excuse him. Hey, a better man wouldn't have went that route. I give you that. But for the sake of just making the point, sometimes we put people in positions where we almost push them to confirm what we believe about them. I think of the song that Keisha Cole had, Love, you know how it go. And she's, no, that's not it. It's not love. It's I should have cheated. And basically what she's saying is she should have cheated because you accused her so many times. By the way, the one Love, that's my song. I mess with that, Jones. That's one that first came to my head. But yeah, because you've been accusing her so many times, and you've been dealing with her as if she really did it, although she didn't. She like, I might as well should have cheated. Now, that particular song doesn't say she did. But imagine the people who just say, you know what? Every time I come in this joint, she acting like I'm cheating anyway. I'm just going to do it because I already know what the punishment going to be because I'm already getting the punishment. Toxic. Dude's toxic too. Yeah. All day long. Same thing. Dude coming at you trying to do everything you can to make sure he has a good time or a good day and so forth and so on. You done set the atmosphere. You might got the candles. You got the seafood ready. You got that negligee you ain't wore yet. And you may pick up your phone just to, and one of your girlfriends have made some kind of joke or something, and you snicker a little bit and look at him out of just instinct, and next thing you know, you close your phone and put it up, and he's saying, "No, what was that? What's up?" See, it's a difference between jealousy and toxic. Just like there's a difference between toxic and negativity. That would probably be the last time if she was the last thing that she would do if she was communicating with some other dude is at the time right there. And if she did, she probably wouldn't look at you. She probably wouldn't give you no indication. She don't want to ruin this mood, this moment. Money been spent. Time been putting in the strategizing how we gonna put these candles up. And she about to put that negligee on, and it's gonna be a good time. But that toxic dude, he don't see none of that. All he see is you looked at your phone and you smile, and then you look back at me. And now we going somewhere else. The reason that I think it's also important to point out, aside from getting rid of your toxicity by going back and revisiting in your mind, in your imagination, those times that you've been hurt, those dramatic experiences that shook you up, the ones that made you cry, what you woke up to and what you went to sleep with emotionally. And deal with that, and deal with it from a correct point of view, and understand that everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt. You don't act like you don't see the person with the hoodie on that's approaching you. And you can take the necessary measurements to make sure that you are protected. But you can't actually judge the person until they make the action. Not just by how they look or how it looks. So you can forgive and not forget and go to your next relationship. And you can understand that this person may remind me of that person and what that person have done every so often by the way that they navigate just through life itself. But that doesn't mean that that's what they are up to. And I may think about it, and I may even do some small investigation just to be sure for my own sake. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. But you cannot go to that person and deal with them as if they're doing what you can't even prove that they're doing because somebody else done it to you in the past. Because the least that may happen is that you lose a good person or throw friction and stress in your relationship. The worst that may happen is that you push that person to actually confirm, to fulfill a prophecy. But I think another thing that is important to discuss when it comes to toxic people and toxic relationships, one of the main things that keep them together and keeps the wheels spinning is a lot of times they have very great, awesome, passionate sex. You know why? Because they break up and make up so many times. And we know what's been said about makeup sex. And when you understand how behaviors and habits and addictions are formed, and the chemical reactions of our body, when you get into that erotic zone, the endorphins and the adrenaline, it's a good feeling. It can almost be related to the same chemicals that are released and are activated in your brain when you use drugs such as cocaine and other stimulants. And we may not know why we keep going back. All we know is that something is happening, something is being fulfilled. So suppose I told you that it's possible that not only are you toxic and exuding, throwing off toxic energy and toxic vibes because of some dramatic experience or experiences in your past, but that you also could be very well addicted to the chemical reaction that comes from being toxic to formulating in the form of breaking up, making up, euphoric sex, break up, make up, euphoric sex. Cycle. That's a cycle. That's a cycle. One of the main signs you'll see in toxic relationships is your friend, cousin, nephew, aunt, niece, brother, associate always talking bad about their spouse and what he or she do, and the next thing you know, they lovey-dovey. They back together. Because it's going to be pretty hard to move on to another relationship and expect to have make-up sex if you ain't even had a fight yet. But I can go make up with that person I just cussed out, argued with, and sometimes even got physical with, and we can have that sex. And I can get my fix of addiction until the next time. Break the cycle.